single dad opened the door for his blind date, then froze when she said, "My kids are waiting in the car." Mark's hand hovered over the doorknob, his knuckles white. 5 kids finally asleep, blessedly, miraculously asleep, after a chaotic dinner of slightly burnt grilled cheese and a near miss with the goldfish bowl. His tiny, perpetually sticky living room felt like a battlefield at dawn, quiet, but littered with the debris of survival. He smoothed his only cleanish button-down shirt, took a deep breath that did nothing to calm the nervous flutter in his chest, and opened the door. She stood there, bathed in the porch light's warm glow. Sarah, from the dating app profile that had seemed almost too genuine. Hiking photos, a quiet smile, bio that simply read, "Looking for real connection." She was even more striking in person, eyes bright, holding a small bouquet of wildflowers. Mark's carefully rehearsed, "Hi, come on in," died on his lips. Because Sarah didn't step forward. Instead, she glanced nervously over her shoulder towards the idling sedan parked at the curb. Her voice, when it came, was soft, but carried a weight that slammed into Mark like a physical blow. "My twins, my boy and girl, they're 4. They're waiting in the car." Time stopped. The cheerful chirping of crickets outside vanished. The faint smell of his kids' leftover mac and cheese seemed to intensify. Mark froze. Twins? 4 years old? In the car? His mind raced, a frantic slideshow of his own reality. 5 children under 10, a mortgage that groaned louder than his youngest during nightmares, the raw, still tender scar of his wife's passing 2 years ago. He'd agreed to this date precisely because he thought Sarah was child-free, a brief escape into a simpler world. This was a universe away. He saw the flicker of panic in Sarah's eyes, too. She hadn't planned this. She'd probably wrestled with it all the way here, hoping against hope she wouldn't have to say it. The silence stretched, thick and awkward, filled only with the distant hum of the car engine. Then Mark did something that surprised even himself. He didn't shut the door. He didn't make an excuse. He looked past Sarah towards the car. In the back seat, 2 small faces pressed against the window, wide-eyed and curious in the dim interior light. A boy with messy brown hair, a girl with pigtails askew. They looked ordinary, tired, real. A memory flashed. His own kids, years ago, peering out the window with that same mix of hope and apprehension when he brought someone new home after the sheer, terrifying vulnerability of it. "Come in," Mark heard himself say, his voice rough but steady. "Both of you. It's cold out there." Sarah's eyes widened, then filled with a relief so profound that it made Mark's throat tighten. She hurried back to the car, whispering to the twins. Moments later, she ushered them inside, their small hands clutching worn stuffed animals, a rabbit for the girl, a dinosaur for the boy. They shuffled in, eyes huge, taking in the chaotic living room, the Lego fortress on the rug, the stack of library books teetering on the coffee table, the framed photo of Mark's late wife smiling gently from the shelf. "Hi," the little girl whispered, hiding slightly behind Sarah's leg. "Hi," Mark said, crouching down slowly, meeting your eyes at their level. "I'm Mark. This is my house. It's a bit messy because my kids are sleeping." He gestured toward the hallway. "They're probably dreaming about, well, probably about cookies." A tiny giggle escaped the boy. Sarah let out a breath she seems to have been holding for hours. What followed wasn't the elegant adult-only date Mark had imagined. There was no candlelit wine. Instead, Sarah helped Mark clear a space on the sofa. The twins, initially shy, were drawn to the Lego fortress like magnets. Mark found himself explaining the intricate rules of his son's latest spaceship design to the boy, while the girl shyly showed Sarah a slightly chewed picture she'd drawn of a rainbow. Sarah didn't flinch at the chaos. She didn't sigh at the sticky spot on the armchair. She simply was there, present, helping the little girl find a missing Lego piece, asking Mark gentle questions about his kids' names and ages, sharing a quiet, understanding look when a distant cry from his youngest room made him tense. Over lukewarm tea, the only thing left, the conversation flowed, not about grand adventures or perfect lives, but about the beautiful, exhausting reality of parenting. She spoke of her divorce, the custody arrangement that left her feeling perpetually torn, the fear of dating with kids in tow. Mark spoke of his grief, the overwhelming responsibility, the moments of pure joy that still pierced through the exhaustion. He saw it then, not just a woman on a date, but a fellow traveler in the messy, magnificent journey of single parenthood. Her bringing her kids wasn't a deal-breaker. It was her truth, laid bare with courage. And in that vulnerability, Mark saw a strength that resonated deep within his own weary soul. As Sarah finally gathered her sleepy twins hours later, the initial tension had melted into something warm and tentative. At the door, the little girl tugged Mark's sleeve. "Can we come back?" she asked, her voice small but clear. "Your Legos are cool." Mark looked at Sarah, really looked at her. The fear was still there, the caution honed by past hurts, but beneath it, a flicker of the same hope he saw in his own children's eyes every morning. He smiled, a real one this time, reaching out to gently ruffle the boy's hair. "Yeah," Mark said, his voice thick with an emotion he hadn't felt in a long time. "Yeah, you can come back." As Sarah's car pulled away, the porch light casting long shadows, Mark didn't feel the usual post-date emptiness. He felt seen, understood, not just as a single dad burdened with loss, but a man worthy of a second chance, kids and all. The door he'd opened for a blind date hadn't just let Sarah and her twins in. It had cracked open his own heart, letting in the quiet, unexpected possibility of love. Not the fairy tale kind, but the real, resilient kind, built on shared chaos, honest vulnerability, and the simple, profound courage to say, "My kids are waiting," and be met with not rejection, but with an open door. The journey ahead wouldn't be easy, but for the first time in years, Mark felt ready to walk it. Maybe not alone. If you believe in kindness and justice, please like, share, and subscribe to ACA Story Tales for more heroic, emotional stories. Your support helps us spread hope to millions. Thanks for watching.